Namaste, everyone. Welcome to the Pranic Healing podcast. And on this episode, we're going to give you a complete guide to pranic psychotherapy. Now, pranic psychotherapy is one of those pranic healing courses and, in general, energy healing courses that you really get a deep dive of one's emotional and mental health. And of course, this framework was developed by the founder of Pranic Healing, Master Choa Koksui. So today, we'll kind of dive deep into what the course looks like if you're interested, and you can share this video to people that might be interested as well to kind of get a bird's eye view of the course and sort of the key takeaways and what they will learn and eventually apply. So let's dive right into it. So we understand that in science, the energy body, or what's called the biofield, is this field of invisible energy and information that influences our health. Now, in the previous episodes, we spoke about basic pranic healing, which taught you the essential techniques on which you build upon in advanced pranic healing, which serves to kind of address more severe and chronic physical conditions. So, pranic psychotherapy is the other side of the coin, where we learn more specific advanced techniques, building back on basic and advanced pranic healing to address some of these psychological illnesses. So, what makes pranic psychotherapy different from other energy healing modalities in general, right? So, what's different is that in Master Choa's system, the chakra system is very, very concise, very specific, very detailed. So, when I talk about these techniques and applications, it's very much a precision protocol based technique. What I mean by that is, like I spoke about in basic pranic healing and advanced pranic healing, when you understand the energetic anatomy of the energy body, you have a certain instruction, a certain plan of getting from point A to point B. Now, with pranic psychotherapy, you can even look a little bit deeper to the chakra itself. Okay, so there's different layers and sections of the chakra, which are important because you'll learn different techniques to, again, dive a little bit deeper and fine tune and figure out what's exactly going on. Okay, so, and this serves as a really great complement to conventional medicine, conventional psychiatry, conventional counseling, and psychology, because as we know, the energy is the blueprint for our physical body, but also the energy is the blueprint for our thoughts and emotions. And this is why psychotherapy is very powerful for people that may be struggling with, fears such as phobias, any types of addictions, especially with depression, anxiety, and things of that nature. So, starting off, we need to understand that negative thoughts, negative emotions are basically like energetic imprints on our energy body, on our chakras, on our biofield. What I mean by that is basically if you had a baking pan, right? If that baking pan had a dent in it, and whatever, flour or recipe you put into that pan, when you bake it in the oven, eventually all the product, right, the bread or the cake that you bake, it's going to have that imprint. So how we correct that is we want to correct that imprint. We want to remove those dents, those defects in our energy body, in our chakras, so that we are no longer experiencing those side effects. And when I say side effects, it could be anxiety, depression, addictions, phobias, etc. So chronic psychotherapy, we dive deep into what those conditions look like, what that dent in the pan looks like, and now that you have an awareness of what that defect is, you'll have certain tools and techniques and a protocol on top of it, right, to correct this. So this is very important. And as well as I've talked to you about in the basic pranic healing class, every chakra has a physical and a psychological function, right? So now that we are diving a little bit deeper with pranic psychotherapy, we can now kind of go more directly to those energy centers that relate to certain emotions, such as stress, such as anger, such as fear, things such as, even like laziness, procrastination. So when we work on these emotions, basically we are alleviating the energetic blockages, right, that are created from these emotions. And this is important because, as we know, in energy medicine and things like traditional Chinese medicine, Ayurveda, the concept of this energy flowing, circulating is very, very important. It's only when this energy circulation is blocked, right, or very deficient or low, that's when we have illness or problems. So we want to correct those energetic imbalances, whether it's congestion or depletion. And also, something very important to understand is when we look at the energy centers, right, they are like the power plants. They are like another physical organ for the energy body. So the chakras, they are the power plant for the energy body. And you will also learn, again, different techniques to repair the chakras. And we understand that the term chakra means energy wheel. So energy is flowing in and out of the chakras, spinning in certain conditions, certain directions, which will dictate how the energy will move. So the protective web is something that is not taught in other modalities, and it's another energetic anatomy that we can get to look at and examine and work on. So again, accelerating the physical body's healing, but also for depression and anxiety. So more of the psychological symptoms like that. You'll also learn different shielding and protection techniques. So this is very important. As we know, with energetic hygiene, it's not only physical, right, for the physical body, it's always also for our thoughts and for our emotions. So we don't get contaminated when we go into different toxic work environments or different environments that may not be so energetically clean and can affect us on that mental emotional level. So psychotherapy is very important because it gives you certain techniques and tools, again, that you wouldn't have otherwise in basic pranic healing or advanced pranic healing when you're dealing with clients that have more of this chronic severe psychological symptoms, right? So this could be obsessive compulsive behaviors. This could be, again, really bad phobias of driving or flying, addictions to smoking, addiction to gambling, things like that. So each of these conditions will, again, show a different presentation. As we say in medicine, right? When a certain person doesn't know the disease they have, it is up to the doctor to diagnose the patient. And what the doctor uses is basically clues and cues from the patient's history, but also through testing. And with Pranic Psychotherapy, we have different skills and techniques to help you test for yourself, of course, in addition to the patient's story. Of course, if the patient's telling you they have a fear of driving, it's very clearly obvious that's their issues. You go straight to the protocol. Okay. And again, the protocol is basically in a recipe and is an instruction manual where you follow to work on these different energy centers. And as I say, if you follow the recipe, you will eventually get what the recipe entails for at the end, if you can follow simple directions there. So, how psychotherapy has helped me and my patients and my clients is very simple. It basically speeds things up very quickly. And as a healer, if you want to be a healer, if you're a future healer or you are a patient, just know and understand that these techniques and these processes basically helps us accelerate the conventional healing process of the body, which tends to be very slow. We understand that physically, right, with basic and advanced pranic healing relating to the physical body, because the physical body heals, regenerates, repairs itself at certain time intervals, right? Same thing with our skin cells, our blood cells, right? They regenerate over a certain period of time. Now, this is very interesting when we look at psychotherapy with psychological conditions because healing from psychological conditions is not as, I would say, specific. It is not as universal because when you look at two people with depression or anxiety, one person might recover much faster than the other person, but we can't tell, right? And this is why psychotherapy, chronic psychotherapy, is so powerful because we can finally have the diagnostic tools that regular doctors would use, right, to measure and give a metric of their state of health by using our hands, right? Our hands, we can check the condition of the aura of the chakras at specific locations, and then we can understand, hey, yeah, this person will likely improve a lot better than the other person because there's just less, say, energetic congestion, right? So I'm just giving you an example there. But it goes to show the power of pranic psychotherapy and what Master Choa has developed to help us, again, heal much faster than normal, than without these tools. So that's why pranic psychotherapy is such a great complement to conventional clinical psychiatry, clinical psychology, where you do talk therapy, you might be on certain antidepressants, certain medications, which is very normal, which is fine. And we understand that pranic healing is meant to be a complementary therapy, anyways. But as you know, if you can support the faster and more effective healing of your psychological condition, right, for you yourself, for your clients, why wouldn't you do it? So that's where the power comes in with pranic psychotherapy. And there's been many case studies, anecdotal evidence, which is basically evidence that people have from testimonies and just by word of mouth on how powerful this is. So again, the science and research in this area is growing. This is called biofield sciences. And for all those healers out there that have case studies, that have testimonials from clients, I highly recommend that you take that down because it is a piece of evidence. Okay. And the more evidence that we have, we can build what's called a case series where we can look at, again, how does pranic psychotherapy work with people with moderate depression, right? And then we can build bigger studies and prove that this works when, of course, as healers, practitioners, we already understand that it does work already. Okay, so that's basically a general summary of pranic psychotherapy. Again, we covered a couple of key principles and the key takeaways for this episode, especially if you know someone that is interested in taking this course and you know someone that may benefit from learning this or applying this. Understand that the energy body, the aura, the chakras, right, they are a mirror to our physical and psychological health. Okay, so we spoke how important it is, of course, for our physical health because it's something that we can see, but especially with someone's psychological health, it's not as apparent. We can't tell if they're, faking the smile or if they're really sad or not. So this is why these tools and systems gives us an objective way to measure, to find out, again, if there's anything that is imbalanced in their aura, in their energy body, like I said. And there's different techniques, advanced techniques, where you can go in, work on these places, and you get faster healing than without it. Right? And that's why it is such a great complementary therapy that anyone can benefit. And the amazing thing is that anyone can learn it as well. As Master Choa has described, this is for everyone. You don't have to be gifted or talented. It takes practice, but everyone can get the results. Okay, so I hope this episode was helpful for you. If you've enjoyed this episode, please leave a like and comment down below. And if you've really loved this episode, I would appreciate it if you can support the Pranic Healing Podcast by being a subscriber. Basically, your contributions will keep this show running and help me also interview other future guests on the show where we talk about their practical experience and application of pranic healing and helping them and helping others live a happier, healthier life. That's all for today. Take care so much. Atma Namaste. We'll see you in the next episode.